Chicago is somebody's kind of town. Don't know if it's mine, but for this replay it is, for this project. So, as I mentioned in the earlier video with the meet and greet, this is going to be an exhibition game, just to get everybody familiarized with all the players, if you're not already. And then give me some practice again if I need to put in the robbing the home runs and blocking the plate. I did check Comiskey Park, where this game is played. The wall height is 9 feet, so we definitely can rob home runs should the situation arise. So we will go with that as I sip my coffee here on a Sunday morning. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. I just randomly picked starting pitchers for each team. For the White Sox, it'll be the left-hander Ken Kravick. And on the 77 season, he was 11-8 with a 4.10 ERA. And for the Cubbies, it'll be Mike Krukow. And Krukow on the 77 season was 8-14 with a 4.40. So, at least on the surface, the White Sox have a better pitcher, but that's all, you know, that's why they roll the dice and play the game. All right, let's go through the starting lineups very quickly. I'll go ahead and put them in this little book. I actually had a third book done. Actually, this was the first book I had done by Staples when I was going to do the an updated version. I was going to do 1977 with the Tenacious type setup with the 10 teams and whatnot, but I really wanted to play all the teams, so that's why that one fell apart. But I did make this page. It's enough to hold 250 games. There's no cover sheet on it, but I can certainly use it for you know, all my scorekeeping purposes on other games and maybe other projects or other one-off games or whatever it is I happen to deem necessary. So we look at the starting lineup for the Cubs. It'll be Ivan DeJesus at short. Gene Clines is in the left. Remember, he's a right-hander, and he's mainly in there to face the lefties. And since the White Sox are using Kravick, we got the right-hander Clines in there instead of someone like Greg Gross. Bobby Mercer's in right, hitting third. Jerry Morales is a center fielder, batting cleanup. Steve Ontiveros is at third, hitting fifth. Jose Cardinal is a DH, hitting sixth. We're using the DH because we're playing at Comiskey. Manny Trio's at second. Larry Bittner, the only lefty in the lineup other than Mercer, is Bittner, and he's down in the 8th spot, and George Middlewall is the catcher. For the White Sox, leading off is left fielder Ralph Garr. Batting at second is shortstop Alan Bannister. Hitting third is George Orta at second base. Richie Zisk is in right. Oscar Gamble, the DH, hits fifth. Eric Soderholm at third, hits sixth. Jim Spencer, the first baseman, hits seventh. Chet Lemon, center fielder, hits eighth. And Jim Essien, the catcher, bats ninth. The ballpark effects for singles for both lefties and righties, it's 1 to 9. Home runs for both lefties and righties is 1 to 3. So, Ken Kravick finishing his, let's see if I can do it this way. Gotta work this. Another thing about doing this exhibition game is get my setup straight for the way I would like to have it going forward. So, I think you can see everything there on the pitcher card. And if we put the batter card right there, we should be good to go. And I can roll right here. So, Ivan DeJesus going to lead off against Kravick, righty against lefty. We get a 1-9. 1-9 on DeJesus as a strikeout. So this exhibition game starts out with a strikeout. All right, here's Gene Clines, the righty. 6-2, that's off of Kravick. It's ground ball pitcher X. He is a 3-E8. So we'll go to the pitcher chart. He is a 3-E8. 3 and a 7, that could be tricky. We'll see. 3 and a 7, he actually will get to that. And there's a 9, and he's an E8 as a pitcher. E8, there is no 9, so he does make the good play. And that's an easy 1-3 ground out for out number 2. Brings up Bobby Mercer. Lefty on lefty, 2-5, and he's going to draw a walk. So the first base runner for the Cubbies is a walk to Mercer. Stolen base-wise, he did steal 16 bases, so he might look to get the jump here. Kravick does hold runners at a -1, and the arm rating of Essien is a 0, so he wouldn't, you know, you'd lose maybe 3 points if he got the jump and knock it down to a 13. So they're going to go ahead and give it a go to get the jump. He's a 2 through 5 or a 12. And he did not get it, so no jump, so no steal. So we continue on with Jerry Morales. Get a 5-10. Kravik against a righty. 5-10's ground ball shortstop X. And I've got my little handy dandy chart right here. Shortstop X. Bannister is a 4E48. Remember when I was doing the intro to all the players, he had shoulder issues, so he had trouble going to first, and apparently had trouble with range too. So a 4E48 is definitely not good, but we'll see what we get. An 11, a 4 and 11, he will actually get to that, and that is also an 11. So we'll go to E48 on the shortstop, and E48, and there is no 11, amazingly enough. So Bannister is going to make the play. He'll actually go the short way, going to second base for the force to Orta. And the inning is over. I don't think you can see the line score down here. Let me move this over a bit. Maybe so that would help you see the line score. Not that you really care about that. But like I said, I'm doing this as a work in progress to see what works best. All right, so Kravik gets through the first, no problem. Now we are looking at Mike Krukow with his warm-up tosses, and it'll be Ralph Garr to lead things off, left fielder. We get a 5-4 against the lefty. Krukow, 5-4 is a fly ball center field X. And for the for the Cubs, center fielder Jerry Morales is a 2E5. So a 2E5 in center field. 2 and a 5. I think you'll get to that. Let's double check it. 2 and a 5. He does get to it. There's a 10, so I don't believe there's any errors on 10s for center fielders that I can see. There is not. So nice play done there by Jerry Morales, and Garr is retired. I'll do all this. I need like 5 hands to play this thing, I think. Here's Bannister. It's a 1-7 against a righty. Split chance, 1-13 is a single. 14-20, he lines to Ontiveros at third. It's a 7, so it will be a single for Alan Bannister. Don't think he runs all that well. He only stole 4 bases all year, got caught 3 times, so they're going to hold him where he is. Here's George Orta. 2-8 for Orta. He pops it up to second, and Trio corrals that for out number 2. And here's the dangerous Richie Zisk. It's a 6-5 for Krukow against a righty. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That is DeJesus. And DeJesus, for his fielding, is a 2E36. 2 and a 13, he'll get to that. That's a 14 and an E36. And there is no 14. There's a 13, 15, and a 17, and a 16, but no 14. So it's a good play. And we'll just say he throws to first. It really doesn't matter. And the inning is over. So both pitchers allow a runner, but nothing else. We go to the second. Still no score. Here is Kravik back on the mound, and he'll be facing switch-hitting third baseman Steve Ontiveros. He'll turn around bat right-handed. 3-10 against a lefty is a ground ball to third. Soderholm flips over to Spencer, and there's one away. Here's Jose Cardinal, the DH. 6-9 against a right-hander, struck him out. So Cardinal with the whiff. 2 up, 2 down for Manny Trio. 2-6 against a lefty. He's going to go solid singles. A Trio, a 2-out single. And he's really not much of a base-stealing threat. He stole 3 bases, was caught 5 times. So they're going to let Bintner swing a wet lefty on lefty. We get a 1, that thing stuck to my hand there. 1-9 against a left-hander is a ground ball to second, and that's going to end the inning. Since it's a ground ball A, I'll say he flips to short, so we'll call it a 4-6 to end the inning. Not that it really matters, of course. The out's the out, that's all that counts. All right, we go to the bottom of the second. Krukow back on the bump, and he'll be facing Oscar Gamble, the man with the fro. 3-6 against a right-hander. He's going to strike him out. So the fro did not help him there. 1 away for Eric Soderholm. 6-9 against a right-hander. Soderholm found the good spot on Krukow. 1-5 is a triple. 6-20 is a single. So he just missed it. It will be a single, not a triple. But it's a 1-out single to Soderholm. Let's see about his base stealing possibilities. No, he stole 2 and got caught 4 times, so he's not going anywhere. And he's going to let Big Jim Spencer try to drive him in. 5-7 against the lefty, struck him out. 2 down. So Spencer with the whiff. And now it's going to be up to Chet Lemon, center fielder. It's a 4-3, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. Krukow is a 2E26. 2 and a 9, he'll get to that. A 15. 15 on an E26. E26 for the pitcher. A 15 is right there in an error. So it will be a 1-base error on Krukow. And that will put runners at first and second with 2 outs. As Krukow boots it. Here's Essien, number 9 hitter. Essien, a 2-7. Solid single with 2 stars. So that will be a base hit that will score the run. It's unearned thanks to the error by Krukow. So he was his own worst enemy there. But it is a single, RBI single. Lemon will go to third. So runners are at the corners. And we'll give Essien an RBI with that. All right, Ralph Garr now 1-0 White Sox. Runner still at the corners. 3-12 for Garr. And that's a ballpark home run. Ballpark diamond shot. But unfortunately for him, it's only a 1-3 at Comiskey. So he ends up flying to right, actually flying to left field to end the inning. All right, so the White Sox get on the board thanks to the boot by Krukow. No one to blame but himself, and it's 1-0 White Sox over the Cubs here in this crosstown exhibition rivalry. Bring up number 9 hitter George Mitterwald, the catcher, to face Kravik. 6-7, struck him out. Kravik doing well. Talking about the maligned pitching staff of the White Sox, but right now they're doing well. DeJesus, 3-12 against a lefty. Hit by pitch plus injury. So I'm not going to do injuries for the exhibition game because I really don't want to start the season like that. So I'm going to just, for this game, avoid the injuries. So, but it is a hit by pitch. So Kravik got one in too tight. Now DeJesus did steal 24 bases. Let's check his base running prowess. 2 through 7, 11, or 12. He can get the jump. So let's try that. That's a 9, so he does not get the jump. So he will not try to steal. And it'll be up to Gene Kleins. 210 against a lefty for Gene Kleins. It's a ballpark single chance as we got that little upside down triangle. And for Comiskey, it's 1-9. It's a 19 though, so he's going to end up lining to short for out number 2. And that brings up Bobby Mercer. Mercer, a 2-6 against the lefty, is a walk. So Mercer has walked both times. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs for Jerry Morales, center fielder. 4-9, 4-9 is a fly ball to center. So handled out there by Lemon. And Kravik pitches out of it. And at the end of 2.5, it's the White Sox 1 and the Cubs nothing. Krukow back out, see if he can field his position this time. He's going to be facing 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Alan Bannister, the first one. Bannister singled his first trip, 5-7. Won't this time, he will strike out. So Bannister gone on strikes. Brings up George Orta. 3-9 for Orta. Ground ball to short. So there's 2 up, 2 down for Richie Zisk. 4-5 against Krukow, and he's going to fly to right. So that's going to be an easy inning for Krukow for a change. And the end of 3, it is still 1-0 favor of the Sox. I want to make sure I don't say favor of Chicago because then you won't know what's going on. Favor of the Sox. All right, here's Kravik. Now, since this is an exhibition game, I'm going to only let the starters go a max of 5 innings. So, even though they may not be tired yet, I'm going to stick to that so I can let the bullpen guys get some work. Here's Ontiveros to lead things off. Okay, sorry about the interruption. There's a 1-10 for Ontiveros against a lefty. Ground ball to third. And there's one away. That'll bring up Jose Cardinal. Not a very good DH, but I had to have somebody there that was right-handed. 5-2 is a fly to right, and that's 2 away. Didn't have to use a lefty, I'm a righty, but it just made sense. Here's Trio. 6-8. 6-8 against Kravic is another strikeout. So Kravic cruising through 4 innings. 1-0 lead, still intact. And that'll bring up Kruko now, who, had he not made his 1 error, we'd have a scoreless game right now. But if is a very big word. Here's Oscar Gamble. Struck out his first trip, 1-6. It's a diamond shot, but again, 1-3 is all you get at Comiskey. That's a 2, though. That's good enough. So Oscar Gamble goes deep. Home run for Oscar Gamble. Makes it 2-0 Sox. 2-0 Sox. That's one where, if we were just playing advanced, that would have been a fly out. But super advanced ballpark came into play. 2-6 for Soderholm. And he's got a chance at a homer. 1-15 is a homer. 16-20 is a double on that 1-6. So it could be back-to-back jacks if we get a 1 through 15. And we do it to 15, but since it's the last number in the home run range, we get a chance to rob a home run. So let's look at the book and refamiliarize myself and maybe you all with that. Be robbing the home run. So let's look at the home run here. First, we have to figure out what the batting hand of the batter is. Soderholm is a righty. And is it the last number in the home run range or the first number in the flyout range? It's the last number in the home run range. That means we're looking at the left fielder. And in this case, for the Cubs, the left fielder is Gene Clines. Clines, however, is not very good. His range is a 4. So since he's a 4, we come down here to the outfield ratings 4. 1-15 is a homer. 16-20 is a flyout. So if this is a 16 through 20, he'll rob the home run. Anything else, it'll be back-to-back jacks. It's a 19, so he robbed the home run. How about that? Gene Clines took it away. Saved Kruko's bacon. And I believe that's the first time I've ever done the robbing the home runs, and that was actually kind of neat. So that's why we're practicing here with the spring training stuff. Here's Spencer. 1-7 for Spencer. He's going to hit a solid single, so the Sox still at it again. The Southside Bombers, or what do you want to call them? Southside Sluggers. Here's Chet Lemon to 2, so we got a chance at either a pass ball or a balk. Balk rating on Kruko is a 6, and the pass ball rating on Mitterwald is a 1. So we're checking the pass ball rating. This has to be a 1, and it's not, so no pass ball. Lemon back in the box, 3-4. I'm sorry, 3-5. 3-5's a strikeout. So Lemon, a little bitter on that one with a strikeout. 2 down for Essien. And again, we got a 2. So again, we're checking balk, or this time we're checking a balk. On Kruko, he's got a 6 balk rating. It's 18, so no balk. Essien, 2-7. Solid single with 2 stars. So Essien, the number 9 hitter, is 2 for 2. So the Sox can hit up and down that lineup. Runners are at the corners with 2 outs. 1 run already in. And here's Ralph Garr. 312 for Garr. That's a ballpark home run shot. But again, only a 1-3. But it's a 2. How do you like that? I keep rolling 2s. That is a 3-run bomb for Ralph Garr. And Mike Kruko is not liking the D20 right now. He would just as soon have that be removed. But Garr had other ideas. It is now 5-0 White Sox. And the Cub bullpen is definitely active. Here's Bannister, 3-7. And that's a solid single. So Bannister is 2 for 3, and the Sox, I'll tell you what, they can't pitch, but they can certainly hit. And you're seeing it here. Here's George Orta. 3-9 for Orta. He's going to ground to short, though, and that's going to end the inning. Since it's an A, I'll do a fielder's choice. 6-4 to end the inning, but 4 runs come in. And after 4 complete, it is the White Sox 5 and the Cubs nothing. And that's going to be all for Mr. Kruko for the day, as the Cubs will turn to Paul Russell going forward. He will be their new pitcher in the bottom of the 5th. Right now, Ken Kravic chance to get the win here. Just getting through this inning. It'll be Larry Bintner, first baseman, lefty on lefty. 5'10", 5'10", it's a ground ball, shortstop X. Again, that's the shaky Bannister, 4E48. 4 and a 3, that's going to be a base hit. 4 and a 3 will be a single, and that is a total of 13. E48, there is no 13, so it's just going to be a single for Bintner as he sneaks it through the 5.5 hole. And the Cubs have the lead runner on. Here's Mittelwald. 1-8 against the lefty, struck him out. I'm sorry, 1-8 is over here, fly to center. I looked at 2-8 by mistake, but it's an out, so one away for Ivan DeJesus. DeJesus, a 6'10". Kravic against a right-hander, 6'10". It's a ballpark single check. 1 to 9 would be a single. And it is, so it's a single for DeJesus. Puts runners at first and second with only one out. And here come the Cubs. Here's Gene Kleins. 2-5 for Kleins, and he's going to get a single against the lefty with 2 stars. That will score the run as Bintner comes across the plate, cuts the lead to 5-1. DeJesus takes second. And again, runners at the corners with only one out. Here's Bobby Mercer. This is the feint of having the White Sox, is you get a lead, but you can't hold it. 1-7 is a 1 for a single. Anything else, he lines to second. And that's a liner that's snagged by Trio. I'm sorry, snagged by Orta. There's 2 away. Here's Jerry Morales. 3-6 for Morales, and he's going to get a single 2 stars, so the train keeps moving. As that's an RBI single that will score DeJesus. Cuts the lead to 5-2. Runners are at the corner still with 2 outs for Steve Ontiveros. Kravic just trying to survive the inning. 1-9, and he walks Ontiveros. So now the bases are loaded for Jose Cardinal, and this is where the Cubs would love to have a better DH than this, but that's what they've got. 1-6, and he's going to fly to left. I'm sorry, yeah, fly to left, so that's going to end the inning. So Cardinal, the rally killer there, but 2 runs on the board. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 5-2 in favor of the Sox. And that's going to be all for Kravic for the day. And new pitcher for the Cubs is going to be Paul Russell, brother of Rick Russell. So Kruko only lasts 4 innings. All right, and he gets to face Richie Zisk. That's his reward for coming in. Gets to face Richie Zisk. 6'5", and that's right off the bat an in-home run chance. Zisk obviously has normal power. 1-7 is a home run. Anything else, be a deep fly to left. Whoops, let's get the D20 on the board. How about we do that? It's a 1, so Richie Zisk. Richie Zisk, pitched to Zisk at your own risk was the signs that were in Comiskey at the time. And Paul Russell pitched to him at his own risk, and he found out why. Here's Gamble. 3-9 for Gamble. He grounds to second, handled by Trio. 1 away. Soderholm. 2-4. 2-4 for Soderholm. He pops it up to first, handled by Bintner. 2 down for slugging Jim Spencer. 4-7 against a lefty. 1-15 is a single. Anything else, we ground ball to first. So it's ground ball to first that Bintner was able to grab a hold of. 1 first baseman grounds to the other, but the home run by Zisk. And through 5 complete here at Comiskey in this exhibition game, it is the White Sox 6 and the Cubbies 2. And now we need a new pitcher for the Sox. Let's see who they're going to go with in their bullpen. They will go to Bart Johnson, right-hander Bart Johnson. So Bart Johnson, if we look at his numbers, 4-5 with 4.01 ERA. He did have 2 saves, so he's going to see if he can maybe pitch 2 innings here. Bart Johnson, as Kravic pitches 5, so he does qualify for the win if the White Sox don't lose the lead. And he'll be facing Manny Trio to start things off. 1-11 for Trio, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9. Oh, let's re-roll. That thing went too far, didn't it? That's a 17, so he's going to line to short. Those D20s tend to roll on me. I probably need some kind of a tray or something, but again, that's why this is exhibition. We're just Trying things out. Seeing what works and what doesn't. 6-5 against Bart Johnson is a walk to Bentner. So Bentner is aboard. That brings up the catcher Mitterwald. Mitterwald, a 1-7. 1-7 is a single with 2 stars, so Mitterwald. And back come the Cubs. Runners on the corners. 1 out. Von DeJesus, the batter. 5-5. Ground ball shortstop B. That will score the run. They were playing double play depth, so it will be a fielder's choice 6-4. But the RBI to Mr. DeJesus. And that's a run for the Cubs. Cuts the lead to 6-3. Brings up Kleins. 1-7 for Kleins. He grounds to short, and that's going to end the inning. Could have pinch hit with Gross right there, but we're still kind of early, so I didn't want to. May need to do that in the 9th. But a run comes in for the Cubbies. And at the end of 5.5, it's the White Sox 6 and the Cubs 3. And for the Cubbies, Paul Russell will come in and pitch a 2nd inning. See what he can do. But the bullpen is on standby. So Chet Lemon will lead things off for the Sox. 5-6. 5-6 is a strikeout for Russell. 1 away. Jim Essien. 1-9. Struck him out. So Russell coming back with a vengeance. 2 straight strikeouts. Here's Ralph Garr. 1-5. Fly to right. And there's a 1-2-3 6th for Russell. So Russell's day is done. He went 2 innings. Johnson's going to try to go 2 innings. We go to the 7th. Still 6-3 Cubbies. I'm sorry, 6-3 White Sox, but Cubbies definitely not out of it. Not the way the White Sox pitch. So Johnson's going to try again. See what he can do. Here's Bobby Mercer. 1-7, and he's going to walk. That's the 3rd walk for Bobby Mercer. Let's look at his card. Bobby Mercer drew 80 walks on the season, more walks than strikeouts. So you can see his card is, you know, pretty much loaded with walks. So especially in the 6 and 7 positions. So not a surprise there at all. Here's Morales. 4-9 against a right-hander. It's a solid single off Bart Johnson. Single to right field. And being down by what they are, they're going to play station to station. So Mercer's going to stop at 2nd. Here is Onaveros. It's 6-3. Onaveros is a switch hitter batting left. 6-3 is a fly ball left field X. That is going to be Ralph Garr, who's a 4. 4 and a 16, he'll get to that. His E rating is a 4 as well. So that's a 10, so I think he'll make the play, but we'll double check it. 4 and a 16, I know he'll get to it. 4 and a 16 is an F2. And a 4 and a 10, there's no error there. So an F2 with the runners at 2nd, I believe everybody's got a hold. Runner on 2nd may tag up and try to advance. But again, down by what they are, they're not going to take that chance. It's simply going to be a fly out to left field, particularly with the ball going to left field. I don't even know if that's possible to advance to 3rd on that. Cardinal. Actually, you know what? We're not going to have Cardinal bat. That was my mistake. He's in there against the lefty, but since the righty's in there now, we're going to go to the bench. So we're going to go to the bench for Greg Gross. Greg Gross is going to be the new DH. They need offense. And they're going to turn to Greg Gross. So they're managing this like the 7th game of the World Series. Greg Gross is your new DH as he pinch hits for Cardinal. See if that pays off. 2-6. Not this time. It's a pop-up to short for out number 2. Don't know what Cardinal would have done, but without looking. Let's see here. 2-6 Cardinal. What would he have done on a 2-6? Well, I've got to find his card first. Where did I put it? Cardinal. I got him buried in here under somebody else. There he is, 2-6. He would have grounded to third. So ground ball third base B. So in about the same situation. Here's trio, 1-8, and that's ground ball to short. Got all those hits in column 1, but the 1-8 is a ground ball to short. It's going to end the inning. And nothing doing for the Cubbies. So we go to the 7th inning stretch here at Comiskey. It is still a 6-3 White Sox lead, and we get a new pitcher for the Cubbies, as Paul Russell has gone 2 innings, and it's time for a new pitcher. And they will turn to, let's take a look here. They turn to Willie Hernandez. So Willie Hernandez is on. It's a lefty. Willie Hernandez. And he's going to be facing Alan Bannister to start off the inning, followed by Orta and Zisk, and then Gamble. So 2 lefties and 2 righties coming up. 6-7 for Bannister. Ground ball second base X, that's trio. He's a 2. And he is also an E20. I'm sorry, E30. 2 E30. So he'll make the play, or to get to it, I mean, 8 and E30. E30, there is no 8, so it's a good play for trio. And Bannister is gone. Here's George Orta, lefty on lefty matchup for Orta. 4-7, struck him out. So 2 up, 2 down, and that'll bring up Richie Zisk. 1-8 against the lefty. 1-8 is a 1-3 single. Anything else he grounds to trio. And he grounds to trio, and that ends the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning turned in by Willie Hernandez. He's going to just pitch his 1 inning. Johnson's already pitched 2, so he's coming out. He's a new White Sox pitcher for the 8th inning. And we'll see who that is. Let's go to their bullpen for the top of the 8th. And they will turn to Dave Hamilton. Lefty Dave Hamilton is on. So Dave Hamilton will be on. And the first man he faces will be a lefty in Larry Bittner. It'll be Bittner, Mittelwald, and DeJesus. 2-5 for Bittner against the lefty, and he found a walk. He didn't find much in this column, but he did find his walk. So Bittner, his second walk. Let's see, on the season, he walked 35, struck out 36. So he didn't do either one that much, but he found it there. Here's Mittelwald. Got a 1, so that's a chance for a wild pitch. Hamilton's a 5 on the wild pitch rating. 15, no wild pitch. Back to Mittelwald, 2-7. Ground ball shortstop A. So how about that? That's a killer. Ground ball shortstop A, 6-4-3. Double play. And any visions of a comeback in this inning for the Cubs seem to have gone by the wayside. 2 out spaces empty for DeJesus. 2-5 against the lefty. 2-5. Solid single. A solid single. Solid single for DeJesus on the 2-5. It's clutch, but nobody's on base, so that's not going to be a factor. But DeJesus is on. It's not going to steal because of the score. Here's Klein's 1, so another chance for a wild pitch. 1-5. And it's a wild pitch, so Hamilton uncorks one. And that moves. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. I had to pause that so you wouldn't hear me sneeze. That's going to move the runner to second. And now Gene Klein's chance to drive him home. We get a 2 this time, so it's possible balk or wild pitch. Now, Hamilton has no balk rating, so there will not be a balk. Oops. I just bumped into my camera. I knew that was going to happen. I was losing the dice and dropping everything, and there we go. Part of the pains of spring training. So let's get everything back to where it needs to be. Since we had a failed to balk chance, or no chance at a balk. Klein's is going to bat. We get a 1-5. It's going to fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So apologize for that little snafu. But there's nothing doing there for the Cubbies. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is still 6-3. We'll get a new pitcher for the Cubs. And it's not a safe situation, but they want to get him an inning of work, and that's Bruce Sutter. So Bruce Sutter will be coming on just to get in a good inning of work for Sutter. And of course, he's only a 1-inning pitcher, so he's going to be facing Oscar Gamble, the DH, followed by Soderholm and Spencer. So a couple of lefties, but I don't think Sutter cares. 3-11 for Gamble against Sutter. He's going to ground it back to Sutter, and that's 1 away. That will bring up Soderholm. 2-6 against Sutter, and that's a 1-15 home run chance. 16-20 is going to be a double, so Soderholm a chance to go deep, and he does. So Soderholm takes a mistake pitch by Sutter, takes him deep. That's yet another home run by the boys from the south side. Here's Jim Spencer, 2-9. Sutter hasn't anything off his card yet. Everything's off the batter card. 2-9's a ground ball to second, handled by Trio. 2 down. So Sutter needs something off his own card for a change. He won't get it. 2-8 for Lemon. Ground ball to short. So he survived everything else, but no chances off his own card in that inning. 7-3. We go to the 9th. And the White Sox will send up a new pitcher of their own in Laren LeGros. So Hamilton went 1 inning, and now their closer LeGros, even though it's not a save situation, they want to get him an inning of work. Just the same way that the Cubs got Sutter an inning of work. So LeGros is in. He will be in to try to finish this thing off. It's going to be facing Mercer, Morales, and Ontiveros, numbers 3, 4, and 5 in the order. And Mercer has already walked 3 times. 5-9 against a lefty for LeGros. 5-9. It's a strikeout. So that time Mercer unable to reach. Brings up Jerry Morales. 3-7 is a ground ball to short. Handled over there by Bannister. He did make the play that time. No problem. 2 down. Ontiveros last chance. 6-8 against LeGros, a lefty. Switch hitter batting left. 6-8's a line out to second. Snagged by Orta. And the ball game is over. So there you go. The final in this exhibition game. It is the White Sox winning by the score of 6-3. Be right back with final thoughts. Okay, let's look at the final statistics in the game, and they're kind of telling, and it may be a foreshadowing of what's to come in this season. The White Sox win it by the score of 7-3. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the White Sox. They left 4 on base. Cubs, 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 11 on base. That could be a problem for them going forward. Winning pitcher was Ken Kravick. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs, both earned. Walked 3, struck out 4, and hit a batter, so he had a little bit of control issues. Bart Johnson went 2 innings, gave up 2 hits and a run, and also walked 2. So 6 walks for the White Sox, only 5 strikeouts by their pitchers. So control could be an issue for them. Hamilton gave up a hit and a walk, but no runs, and then LeGros pitched a perfect 9th. For the Cubbies, Krukow gave up in 4 innings. He gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 were earned because of that 1 error he made, what caused the first run to be unearned. Gave up 2 home runs, didn't walk anybody, struck out 3. And then Paul Russell, 2 innings pitched, gave up 1 run, 1 hit, struck out 2. Then Hernandez pitched a perfect 7th. And then Bruce Sutter gave up the home run in the 8th inning for the final run of the game. And Russell again gave up a home run. So 4 home runs hit by the White Sox. So that's going to be their calling card, is seeing these home runs. And dealing with not walking a whole lot but striking out. They had no walks and 6 strikeouts. So a little bit of a foreshadowing maybe of what's to come. But that's why they are known as the Southside Hitmen. Didn't say anything about pitching, didn't say anything about defense. It just says they can hit. And I think we've seen that pretty readily today. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's going to conclude the preseason. And next video that comes out on this will be opening day. Haven't decided. I think I'm going to do the White Sox in Toronto as the first game. And then, but on the same day, basically. Let's look at the schedule. I mean, we'll let the schedule dictate this. So let's see here. Yeah, on April 7th, they both play, so they both had day games. So actually, we're going to play the Cubs first because they don't have lights. So just to be realistic, we'll play the Cubs and the Mets first. That's a Tom Seaver, probably versus Ray Burris, or it could be against Rick. Probably, take it back. It'll probably be Rick Russell. So it's probably going to be Tom Seaver and no, actually, I'm using as played lineup, so I've got to see who the starting pitcher is. I don't know who the starting pitcher was for the Cubs without looking it up. So whoever it is, that's who we're going to use. For Toronto and Chicago, it'll be Ken Brett against Bill Singer because those were the actual starting pitchers on opening day. And so those will be the next videos. Play those out on 2 videos, and then after that, most likely we'll play the remainder of that series, which Cubs have an off day and then 2 more with the Mets, and same with the White Sox. They have an off day and then 2 more with Toronto. So those 2 will be played offline, as will these. And then we'll move on to the next series where the White Sox will come home for their home opener against the Red Sox. And then the Cubs will go on the road to Veterans Stadium to take on the Phillies. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody enjoyed that presentation of strat-o-matic as we get a closer look into the Sox and the Cubs. And hopefully, if you weren't as familiar with these players, maybe since the, combining this game with the meet and greet, maybe that's giving you a chance to get to know these players a little bit better. And as the season goes on, I'll be doing little tidbits of information and passing those out on each player. Maybe just highlight a player for each team. So on the opening day game for the Cubs, I'll pick a Cub player out and do a profile on them or just some interesting facts about them, and same with the White Sox when they play their game. So I hope you all enjoy your day and playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.